Hello and welcome to the next edition of the BriefingsDirect podcast series. I'm Dana Gardner, Principal Analyst at Inter Arbor Solutions, your host and moderator for this ongoing discussion on the latest insights into data center strategies. International Data Center Day this spring in 2020 provides an opportunity to both look at where things have been in the evolution of the modern data center and, more importantly, where they're going. And those trends involve a lot more than just the technology itself. Data center challenges and advancements alike will hinge around the next generation of talent supporting those data centers and how diversity and equal opportunity best support that. We also forecast that sustainability improvements, rather than just optimizing the speeds and feeds, will help determine the true long-term efficiency of IT facilities and systems. Stay with us now as we observe International Data Center Day with a look at how to make the data centers of the future the best operated and the most green ever. To learn how, please join me now in welcoming our panel. We're here with Jamie Leverton, Senior Vice President and Chief Commercial Officer at eStructure Data Centers in Montreal. Welcome, Jamie.
Thank you so much for having me. It's great to be here.
We're delighted to have you. We're also here with Angie McMillan, Vice President and General Manager of IT Systems at Vertov. Welcome, Angie.
Thank you. Hi, Dana. Glad to be here.
We're glad you're here as well. And we're lastly here with Erin Dowd, Vice President of Global Human Resources at Vertov. Welcome, Erin.
Thank you very much. I'm very proud to be a part of this.
Great. Erin, let's start with you. Why, based on where we have come from, is there now a need to think differently about the next generation of data center talent?
Well, what's important to us is that we have diverse population of employees. We think about diversity from the perspective traditionally around ethnic and gender, but really when we consider diversity, we think about diversity of thought, diversity of behavior, diverse backgrounds, and that all makes us a much stronger company, a much stronger industry. It's representative of our customer base, frankly, and it's representative of the globe so that we are ensuring that we have people that are working within our company around the world and contributing all those diverse thoughts and perspectives that make us a much stronger company, a much stronger industry.
Yeah, I mean, we've also often seen the creative and innovative thought comes from when you have a group of individuals who come from a variety of backgrounds. And so it's often a big benefit. Why has it been slow going? What's been holding back the diversity of the support talent for data centers?
It's a really competitive environment. So it's a struggle to find diverse candidates. It really goes beyond our tech type of roles and into sales and marketing. So at Vertov, we really look at our talent early in their careers, and we're working on growing talent as interns, nurturing them, helping them to develop, and helping them to grow into our leadership roles. So it really takes a proactive approach, and it's more than just letting the talent pool evolve naturally. It's about taking some really proactive and definitive actions around attracting people and growing people.
And I don't think I'm going out on a limb by observing that over the past 30 years, it's been a fairly male-dominated category of worker. Tell us why women in science, technology, engineering, and math, or the so-called STEM occupations, are going to be a big part of making the diversity a strength.
That is a huge pipeline for us as we benefit from all the initiatives that increase STEM education for women and men. And the results just help to expand the pool, frankly. And it allows us to have candidates across the board that are interested at an early age and prepared for this type of industry. So we know historically that girls have been less likely to pursue STEM type of interests in early ages. So ensuring that we have people across the continuum, that we have women in these roles to model and mentor, it's really important in expanding that pool. There are a lot of things that we can be doing around STEM, and we're looking at all those opportunities.
Yeah, I mean, statistically, there are more women in university than men, so that should make the transition to a larger share in the IT business. So we're going to be talking about that some more, but would also like to focus on International Data Center Day on issues around sustainability. Jamie, why is sustainability the gift that keeps giving when it comes to improving our modern data centers?
Well, I think that International Data Center Day is about the next generation of data center professionals. And we know that for the next generation, they are committed to preserving the environment, which is good news for all of us as citizens And as one of the world's biggest consumers of energy, I believe the data center industry has a fundamental duty to elevate its environmental stewardship with energy efficient infrastructure, renewable power resources. And so I think the conversation really dovetails well with diversity and a focus around the day today.
All right, let's dive in a little bit more to the issues around talent and finding the best pool, given that the area from which this pool is derived is changing dramatically over the past decade or two. So, Erin, first, tell us a little about your role at Vertov.
I'm the global business HR partner in Vertov. So my focus is to help us design, build, deliver the right people strategies for our teams that have global presence. So we focus on having super engaged and productive people in the right places with the right skills and developing career opportunities and paths that span the continuum from early level to senior level contributors.
All right, now we've heard a lot about the skill shortage, but sort of in general terms. But in your experience there at Vertov, what's your firsthand observations about the skills shortage? What's the challenges we face?
We have a challenge in terms of the shortage of diverse candidates across the board. So this is present in all positions. And increasing the diversity that we can attract and that we can grow will really help us address the shortage firsthand.
And in addition to doing this on pure pragmatic reasons, just to fill those slots, there are some other sort of larger benefits. Tell us a little bit why diversity is important to Vertov and in bringing more women into the technology industry.
Diversity is the right thing to do. Just hands down, it has business benefits, it has cultural benefits, and as I mentioned earlier, it reflects not only our global presence, but also our customer base. And research is showing that companies that have more diverse workforces, they outperform, they out-innovate those that don't. So, for example, companies in the top quartile of the workforce diversity are 33% more likely to financially outperform the less diverse counterparts. And according to a study from 2018 in McKinsey, we've been embracing diversity, which aligns with our Vertov core values. It's the right competitive strategy. It's really going to allow us to compete in the marketplace and, again, relate to our customers best.
And is Vertov being an outlier in this, or is this the way the whole industry is going?
I see this is the way the whole industry is going. I come from a whole line of IT companies prior to my tenure with Vertov, and even the biggest, the most established companies still wrestle with the competitiveness affiliated with attracting candidates that have diversity of thought, diverse backgrounds, diverse behaviors, diversity on ethnicity and gender as well. So the trend is towards engineering and services, and everywhere we are experiencing turnover because it's so competitive. It's a very competitive environment. And so we're seeing that we're competing with our brother and sister companies for the same type of talent. So as I mentioned previously, if we can attract people who are diverse in terms of thought, ethnicity, gender, we really can expand our candidate pool, enhance our competitiveness. And when our talent acquisition team is looking at talent, they're expanding and enhancing diversity in our university relations and our recruiting efforts. They're really targeting diverse candidates as we hire interns and then folks that are later in their careers as well.
All right. Well, we've been looking at this a bit through the demand side, but on the supply side, what are the incentives? Why should people from a variety of backgrounds consider and pursue these careers? What are the benefits to them?
Well, the career opportunities are amazing, and this is really a field that's growing and a field that's not going to go away. We depend on IT infrastructure, data centers across our world, and we're doing that more and more over time. And so there's opportunity in the workplace. And there are a lot of things that we're specifically doing on board in Vertov to keep people engaged and excited. And so we think about the angle of attracting talent. But there's another piece to that, which is about retaining talent. And so some of the things that we're doing in Vertov are very specifically aligned to launching programs that are more aligned with diversity. So recently, and Angie's been involved in this, we have a Women at Vertov resource group called WAVE, and that group is nurturing women, encouraging more women to pursue leadership positions within Vertov. It looks at diversity in leadership positions, but it also provides important training that women can apply in their current positions. And then together we're building this one Vertov culture, which is really important framework for our company. We're creating solutions and resources that make us more competitive and reflect the global market. And we find that diversity breeds new different ideas, more innovation, deeper understanding of our customers, our partners, our employees, our stakeholders all around the globe. We're a global company, so this is very important to us. It's going to make us more successful as we grow into the future. Other things that we're doing is we're creating an end-to-end managing at Vertov program. This is new. We continue to improve this. It integrates behavioral skills and training that's designed to look at the work that we do through the eyes of others. We utilize experiences and talent effectively to grow stronger and stronger teams. And part of this is about recruiting and hiring, and it has an emphasis on finding potential employees who possess a diverse experience of thought and perspective. And diversity of thought comes from field experiences, comes from different backgrounds. All of this contributes to our value as an employee in our organization. We also are launching the Vertov operating system. Now, this is being created and launched and built with an emphasis on better understanding of our differences and bridging gaps where there are differences in ways that brings out the best in everybody. It's designed to encourage thought leadership and to help all of us work through change management together. Finally, we've got another program that we've been implementing across the globe, and it's called Intrinsics. And Intrinsics applies an assessment that's a foundational assessment that's designed to improve our understanding of ourselves and then of our colleagues. And it's a formal experiential program that's going to help us all learn more about ourselves, what makes our individual values and styles unique. But then also it allows us to think about the people that we're working with and learn more about our colleagues, potentially our customers. It allows us to grow in terms of our team dynamics and the techniques that we're using to manage conflict, stress, and change. So collectively, as we look at the full continuum of how we behave in Vertov and the future that we are building for ourselves, all of these efforts work together towards changing the way we think as individuals and changing the way we behave in groups, and then ultimately evolving our organizational culture to be more diverse, more inclusive, more innovative.
Well, great. Now, Jamie, at eStructure, when we look at sustainability, it actually aligns quite well with these issues around talent and diversity because all the polling shows that the younger generation is much more focused on energy efficiency and consciousness around their impact on the natural world. So sustainability. Tell us about, why the need for sustainability is core and aligns so well with talent and retaining the best people to work for your organization.
Yeah, I think what we know to be true as well about the next generation is when they look to choose a career path or take on an assignment, they want to make sure that it aligns with their values and they want to do work that they believe in. So our industry offers them that opportunity to be values aligned and to really be able to make an impact where it counts. As you can see, all around us, people are working and learning remotely. I mean, now more than ever. And data centers are what make all of that possible. So they are crucial to our society. They're crucial to our everyday lives. The data center industry is only going to continue to grow. And with our dependence on energy, we have to have a focus on sustainability. So it really represents a substantial opportunity to make a difference. It's a fast-paced environment where we truly believe there's a career path for the next generation that will matter to them.
And Jamie, tell us a bit about eStructure data centers and your role there.
So eStructure is a relatively new data center company. It was established just over 3 years ago. We have grown rapidly over the last 3 years from our original acquisition of our first data center in Montreal. We now have 3 data centers in Montreal, 2 in Vancouver, and 1 in Calgary. We are a Canadian pure play, Canadian owned and operated, Canadian finance, and we really believe in the Canadian landscape, the Canadian story. We're going to continue to focus on growth in this area, in this nation.
When it comes to efficiency and sustainability, we often look at power usage, effectiveness. Where are we in terms of getting towards complete sustainability? Is it that far-fetched?
I don't think it is. Huge strides have been made in reducing PUEs. especially by us in our most recent construction, which has a PUE at full load of sub 1.2. So organizations in our industry continue to innovate every day, trying to get as close to that 1.0 as humanly possible. We are very lucky that we partner with Vertov. Vertov solutions are key in driving our efficiency in our data centers. And we know that progress can be made continually by addressing the IT loads efficiency. And that is a savings that is incremental to PUE as well. PUE is specifically about the ratio of IT power usage and the power usage of the equipment that supports it. But we look at our data center and our business holistically to drive sustainability even outside of what the PUE covers.
Right. It sounds like sustainability is, part of it's essentially your middle name. Tell me more about that. How did you focus the construction and placement of your data centers to be focused so much on sustainability?
Yeah, so all of our facilities have been designed with a focus on sustainability. When we have purchased facilities, we have immediately gone to upgrade them to make them more efficient. We take advantage of free cooling wherever possible. As I mentioned, 3 of our data centers are in Montreal, so we get to take advantage of about 8 months of the year of free cooling. Quebec and BC, where the majority of our data centers are, use 99.5% hydropower energy, which is the cleanest possible energy that we can use. We virtualize our environments as much as possible. We carefully select eco-responsible technologies and suppliers, and we are committed to continuing to increase our power usage effectiveness without ever sacrificing the performance, scalability, or uptime of our data centers, of course.
And more specifically, when you look at that holistic approach to sustainability, how does working with a supplier like Vertov augment and support that? How does that a tag team when it comes to the power source and the underlying infrastructure?
I think Vertov has just been such a great partner. They were there with us from the very beginning. We worked together really as a team, trying to make sure that we're designing the best possible environment for our customers, for our community. And one of our favorite solutions from Vertov is around their thermal management, which is a water-free solution. So that is absolutely ideal in keeping our commitment to operate as sustainably as possible. And in addition to being water-free, it's 75% more efficient because it has advanced controls and economization. So really being able to partner with partners like Vertov and build their solutions into our design right from the beginning has made a huge, huge impact.
And like I mentioned, sustainability is the gift that keeps giving. This is not just a nice to have. This is a bottom line benefit. Tell us about the costs and how that impacts sustainability initiatives.
There is an occasional higher cost in the short term, but we firmly believe that the long-term total cost of ownership is lower and the benefits far outweigh any initial incremental cost. Obviously, it's core to our values. It's critical that we do the right thing for the environment, for the community, for our staff, for our customers. And as I say, really over the long term, we believe the total cost is less and far and above it's the right thing to do.
Jamie, when it comes to that sustainability formula, what really works, it's not just benefiting the organization that's supplying, it's also benefiting the consumer. Tell us how sustainability is also a big plus when it comes to those people receiving the fruits of what the data centers produce.
Sustainability is huge for our customers, and it's increasingly a key component of their decision-making criteria. In fact, many hyperscale cloud providers and large corporate enterprises have declared very ambitious environmental responsibility objectives and are shifting to green energy. Microsoft, as an example, is targeting over 70% renewable energy for its data centers by 2023. And Amazon reached a 50% renewable energy target in 2018 and is now aiming for 100%.
Let's look at the sustainability issue again through the lens of the talent and the people that are going to be supporting these great initiatives. Angie, when it comes to bringing more women into the STEM professions, how does the IT industry present itself as an attractive career path, say for someone just graduating from high school?
That's a really great question. And when I look at children today, they're really growing up with IT as part of their lives. And that's a huge advantage for them as they can see firsthand the value and impact it has on everything they do. I look at my nieces and nephews and even grandkids. They can flip through phones, tablets, they do things with Xboxes, you name it, all faster than adults. And they're really that next generation of IT. And now when you think about with the COVID-19 situation, children are learning how to do schooling collaboratively, but also remotely. And I believe we can engage children really early with the devices they already know and use and with the tools that they're now learning for schoolwork and use that as a bridge to learning about what makes that work into the data center industry and all of our data centers and how they can actually be a part of that as they complete their schooling and go into higher education. They will remember this experience that we're all living through right now forever. And so why not build upon that?
Jamie, does that align with your personal experience in terms of technology being part of the very fabric of life?
Oh, absolutely. I'm really proud of what I've seen happening in Canada. I have 2 young daughters, and they have been able to take part in STEM camps and coding clubs, and their technology is part of their regular curriculum in elementary school. So I think that's the best thing we can do for our children is to teach them about tech, to teach them how to be responsible with tech, and to keep them engaged with it so that over time they can be comfortable looking towards STEM careers later on.
And Angie, to get people focused on being part of the next generation of data centers specifically, are there degrees, are there paths, is there a career and or educational discrete strategy that they should be pursuing?
It's a really interesting time in education. There are countless degrees specifically geared toward the IT industry. So those are really good bets, but specifically in networking and computers, there's coding, there's cybersecurity, which is becoming even more important, and the list goes on. We currently see a very large skill set gap for IT, specifically around the science and technology functions. So these offer huge opportunities for a young person's future. But I also want to highlight that the industry still needs the skill sets of traditional engineering fields, such as power management, thermal management, services. And equally important are the trade skills in this industry, which there's also a current gap in the workforce. And the training for that may be different, but it still has a really vital role to play. And then finally, we'd be remiss if we didn't recognize the fact that there's support functions in finance, HR, marketing, and people often think that you must only be in the science or engineering part of the business to work in a particular given market, and that really isn't true. We need skill sets across a broad range to really help make us successful.
I would echo that. I'm an IT leader. I've been in this business for 20 years, and my undergrad degrees are in political science and psychology. So I really think that it's all about how you think and the other skills that you can bring to bear. More and more we see EQ and communication skills as really the difference makers to somebody's career success or career trajectory. And I think we just need to make sure that people aren't afraid of STEM fields coming out of more generalized degrees.
Yeah, we've heard about the sort of T structure where you need to have the vertical technology background, but also you want to have those more sort of cultural leadership and collaboration skills. Back to you, Angie, and thank you for that input, Jamie. Angie, you're involved with mentoring young women specifically. What's your take on the potential? What are you seeing now as the diversity is welling up and the available pool of talent is shifting?
Yeah, I am, and I absolutely love it. One of the things I do is support a women's engineering summer camp, probably much like Jamie's daughters attend, and other events around my alma mater, which is the University of Dayton, and I support mentoring interns and other early career individuals, be it male or female. And there is just so much potential in young people, and they are absolutely eager to learn and play their part. They are like sponges, and they want to have relevance into the growing data center market, the IT and sustainability that we talked about earlier. And it's really fun and enjoyable to help them along that journey. There's advice I get asked several times, but I think there's 2 key themes that repeat. One of which is that success doesn't happen overnight. So enjoy those small steps on the journey, which lead you to much greater things. And the important part of that is really just keep taking the steps, learn as much as you can and not to give up. The second thing is to keep an open mind in your career and being willing to try new things and opportunities. And sometimes doors are going to open that they didn't even imagine, which is absolutely okay. As a prime example, I started my education in the aerospace industry when that industry was hurting. So I switched to mechanical, just a broader range of that field of study, spent a large part of my career in automotive, then moved to consumer, and now I'm in data center and IT. I'm essentially a space geek and a car junkie engineer with experience in engineering, strategy, sales, portfolio transformation, operations, and now I'm a general manager for IT management portfolio. If I hadn't been open to new opportunities and doors along my career path, I wouldn't be here today. And so it's an example for the younger generation to say, there's a world of possibilities. You don't have to have it all figured out now, but keep taking those steps and keep trying and keep learning, and the world awaits you, essentially.
And Angie, what sort of challenges have you faced over the years in your career, your technology career, and how is that perhaps changing now?
Yeah, it's a great question. In my experience at Vertov it's been wonderful support structure, of diversity for women in leadership. We talked about the New Wave program. Aaron mentioned that earlier. And you can feel that across the organization. It starts at the top down. And I've also had the benefit, as have many of us, I think, on this podcast, of having some good sponsors along the way in our career journey to help us where we are. But that doesn't mean we haven't faced challenges throughout the career. And there's challenges that still arise for many in the industry. In all the industries I've worked, which have been male-dominated industries, there is this necessity to have to prove yourself for a woman, like 10 times over for your right to be at the table with a voice, regardless of the credentials you have coming in. It gets exhausting, and it's not consistent with male counterparts. It's a show me first, and then I might believe. It's also BS. And that's something that a lot of women in this industry, as well as other industries, continue to have to surpass. The other common challenge, I would say, is that need to overprove yourself so that people know. I always wanted people to know I got my position because I earned it and I have something to offer, not because of a diversity quota. And that's a lot better today than it's been in years past. But I can tell you, I can still hear those words and, of hallway accusations made of other female colleagues that I knew throughout my career. And when one female gets elevated in a position and failed, it makes it a lot harder for other females to get the chance of an opportunity or promotion. Now, again, it's getting better. But if I give you a real world example, if you think about in a number of industries, there are women CEOs, and if they don't succeed, boards get very nervous about putting another woman in a CEO position. If a male CEO doesn't succeed, he's often just not the right fit. So we've got a long way to go yet.
Jamie, at eStructure, what's been your experience as a woman in the technology field?
Well, eStructure has been an incredible experience for me. We have diversity throughout the organization. We are almost at 50% of our population identifying as non-white heterosexual male, which is quite different from what I've experienced over the rest of my career in technology. And from a female perspective, our senior leadership team is 35% women. Our director population is almost 50% women. So it's been a real breath of fresh air for me in tech, I would say. And it really speaks to the values of our founder, who, when he started this company 3 years ago, he did it with the intention of having a diverse organization, because not only does it better mirror our customers, but it absolutely reflects the values of our organization, the culture we wanted to create, and ultimately drives better returns.
Angie, why is the data center industry a particularly attractive career choice right now? What will the future look like in, say, 5 years? Why should people be thinking about this as a no-brainer when it comes to their future?
We're really in a fascinating time for data center trends, and the future is very, very strong. We know now, and the kids of today certainly know, that data isn't going away. It's part of our everyday lives, and it's only going to expand, and it's going to get faster with more compute power and capability. I mean, let's face it, nobody has patience for slow anymore. There are trends in AI, 5G, and others that haven't even been thought of yet that are going to offer enormous potential for a career for those looking to get into the IT space. And when we think about that new trend with the increase of working or schooling remotely, as many of us are doing currently, that may permanently alter how people work and learn going forward. And the need for different tools and capabilities and data management and how they remain secure and efficient is very important. Likewise, more data centers will need to operate independently and be managed remotely more efficiently, and sustainability is going to remain very prevalent, especially at the edge of the network data centers, and enable connectivity and productivity wherever we are.
All right. Well, because we're just about out of time, let's move to our last look at the future. Where do you see the state of the data center now that we're observing International Data Center Day in just the next few years? Angie, what's going to be changing that makes this even, more important to almost every aspect of our lives and businesses?
We know now that data center is an ecosystem is changing dramatically. The hybrid model is upon us, and that's enabling a diversification of data workloads where customers get the best of all options available: cloud, data center, edge. The edge of the network, as our regional global survey of data center professionals showed, is experiencing phenomenal growth. And we also see a lot more remote management to operate and maintain these remote locations securely. We need more people with the skill set capable of supporting advancements that are on the horizon, like the 5G that I mentioned, the IoT and AI type of technologies.
And Erin, where do you see the trends in technology and human resources going that will shape the future for the data center?
I'll piggyback on the technology trends that Angie just referenced and say the future requires more skilled professionals. It will be even more competitive in the industry to hire those professionals, and it's really a great situation for candidates. It makes it really important for companies like Vertov to continue creating environments that favor diversity, and that diversity manifests in many different ways. And in an environment where we welcome and nurture a broad variety of people, that's the direction of the future, and that's really the secret for success.
All right. Well, I'm afraid we'll have to leave it there. We've been exploring how the future data center advancements will hinge around the next generation of talent and sustainability. And we've observed, now that we're at International Data Center Day, that we're seeing new ways to make the data center of the future the best operated and the most green ever. So please join me in thanking our guests. We've been here with Jamie Leverton, Senior Vice President and Chief Commercial Officer at eStructure Data Centers. Thank you so much, Jamie.
Thank you again for having me. It was a lot of fun.
And also thank you to Angie McMillan, Vice President and General Manager of IT Systems at Vertov. Thank you, Angie.
Thank you. Really enjoyed this.
And lastly, thank you to Erin Dowd, Vice President of Global Human Resources at Vertov. Thank you so much.
Thank you. This is a real important topic to all of us.
And a big thank you to our audience as well for joining us for this important discussion in the sponsored BriefingsDirect Data Center Strategies panel. I'm Dana Gardner, Principal Analyst at Inter Arbor Solutions, your host for this ongoing series of Vertov-sponsored discussions. Thanks again for listening. Please pass this along to your IT community and do come back next time.